now calls for the impeachment. Heesoo Jang is the assistant professor at the University of Massachusetts at Amherst. All right, Professor, what do you make of what's happened overnight? Is it weird? Does it make any form of political sense to you?
Hello, can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
Thanks for having me. First of all, I do want to mention this should not come as a surprise. South Korea has been witnessing authoritarian moves and the erosion of democratic institutions for some time now under the current administration. From repeated vetoes of accountability measures, systemic failures in governances, these have been building blocks leading up to this moment, actually. The declaration of martial law is not an isolated incident. It's a culmination of a broader pattern that many, including more than 4,000 academics in the nation, have been warning about.
Right, but is he doing it, or did the president do this through some sort of authoritarian desire he's a fascist in all but name only, or does he genuinely believe there is this risk from the north that there are infiltrators and there are conspiracies?
Well, as far as I know, I haven't heard President Yoon speak about that, so I can't mind read. However, I do want to say that President Yoon's declaration of martial law is a turning point. This moment is unprecedented. Since South Korea became a democracy in 1987, as you know, we've never seen democratic rights just stripped away like this so completely, so suddenly, and for the first time in our country's democratic history, the foundational freedoms of its citizens have been just dismantled overnight.
So, Jang, do you think he just thought, I might get away with this? Do you think he just thought, hang on, let's have a go and see what happens?
Well, thanks for that question. I hope not. Despite everything's happening, I do remain hopeful. What gives me hope is the resilience demonstrated by South Korea's democratic stakeholders during this national crisis. For the past 6 darkest hours, we've seen citizens have been mobilizing. Journalists have been breaking critical stories, lawmakers voted to lift martial law, and the military has shown signs of responsibility after the vote. So these actions, in my opinion, prove that while the government may try to suppress democracy, the people and institutions are upholding it and are very much still alive and fighting back.
The relationship that exists between military, government, and the chaebols, the very powerful corporate giants, is often murky, and yet throughout that murkiness there is a very robust democracy that does see change in government, that does see parties win and lose, doesn't it?
Yes. And I do want to mention that I see these events that have been unfolding in South Korea through a lens of a global trend of these kinds of actions. Now, while historically the decline of democracy has been marked by, for example, sudden collapses in countries with low to moderate economic development, this doesn't explain the recent patterns in the United States and South Korea, as you know. And we're seeing backsliding happening gradually and impacting a broader range of nations like South Korea.
So with your experience, what do you think happens to the president? Does he resign? Does he get kicked out? Is he impeached? How do you think it plays out now?
So back before the president lifted the martial law declaration, if the president did refuse to comply with the National Assembly's decision, this would have provided grounds for impeachment. But now that he did lift officially the martial law, we'll just have to wait and see.
I'm grateful for you. Thank you very much for joining us. Appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me.